The game we're looking at today has over 60 moves. I'm also going to be using the Classroom tool, but we're going to be taking a look at a match that I played a little bit earlier that has a little bit of a pucker factor to it. There are some big swings with some blunders. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to try out this Classroom just to see how it works and if it's useful in being able to explain kind of some of my thought processes, as well as exploring some of the options that maybe could have taken place throughout the match. So let's jump into it. We played a game against Sangtalk. Opened up with e4, comes out with d5. I take. He brings his queen out. Oh, we should also, let's turn the evaluation bar on here so we can actually have a look at that as we're playing as well. So a little bit in my favor. Obviously, when the queen comes out early, it's typically not the best move for you. After he moves his queen over, I notice that if he takes, he's just going to be losing his queen. So I want to continue my development with my knight. He comes over here wanting to push me, and I decide, you know what? If you want to take, I'm going to take. I'm going to develop my queen, but I'm not wrecking any of my pawn structure. And now I can put him into check. And if his queen takes, I get to take. So I felt pretty good about this. It felt like kind of a natural progression of developing some pieces off of my back rank. He decides to kind of, I guess, pressure my bishop that was attacking him, and I just moved it back. This is, again, the idea being if he decides to take, it's still protected. Now, this wasn't the best move in this position. It's saying that bishop should take... I'm still kind of figuring out how to play this. It gives you like a little preview of what to see. Bishop should take. So I should actually just be taking here, and then he either moves or he takes. That's what I should have done. Or bishop to c4. Oh, bishop to c4 down here even. That's also interesting. Is that what it actually is supposed to be? That looks like that's what it's supposed to be. Sorry if I'm blind. I know how to read the annotations, but sometimes my brain takes half of a second to actually initiate on what's being said there. So instead of doing that, I moved back. And the cool thing about this Classroom, by the way, if you use premiumchess.com or anything like that, you can actually explore these moves and see what would happen in these positions, and then just go back to where you were originally and continue the game as it was played. So it's actually really cool. You can see what happens if other things were to have happened, or where pieces should go. We're going to be using this when I do a deep dive on the Vienna. So if that's something you're interested in, subscribe, watch out for it. It's going to be coming to the channel pretty soon. We're going to do a deep dive on the Vienna opening. Anyways, he brought his knight out. I pushed my pawn up knowing that I'm going to be able to kick his bishop because it's protected on multiple fronts. He decides to take. I take with my queen. And again, we're kind of floating around that middle level of the evaluation. He's pushing up, trying to take a little bit more of a control of the center, I suppose. I decide to castle. I've already developed my pawns in a way that's safe for my king to do so. He comes in here putting some pressure on my knight, and I decide, all right, we're going to put some pressure on this. This is a blunder. This is not good at all. Bishop taking c3 is obviously the best move for my opponent. In this position, I should have done bishop to b3. So I actually moved down here. I don't know why that's best. I don't know what the idea is here. I move down, and then he takes, and then something. I'm not sure. Looking at this here, knight takes bishop d7, knight b d7. He's supposed to do something with that. I don't know. How do I even read this? I have this up here mostly for people who actually know what they're talking about so that you can see what the engine is saying is good. And if you can understand the annotations of this, then you can do that. I apologize for my lack of preparation. I was really excited to try this Classroom out because I just found it. Anyways, he is going to obviously take here, which he does, and I take back with a pawn. This is doubling pawns, but I don't really care about the structure on this side of the board. However, it is going to leave my light bishop also hanging. So he gets to take. He is now at a +3 advantage. Both of my knights are gone and my light bishop. Not a super great position for us to be in. However, I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, if I can line this up, boom. Checkmate. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So he castles, smartly so. Castles over on his queen side. King side. Right? King side. Castle's king side. I'm going to say a lot of dumb stuff in this video. I put some pressure on his queen, knowing that if he's going to take in any of these two positions, he's going to lose the queen. He retreats, falling back. This pawn is actually technically hanging if my queen moves away. So I decide, hey, you want to move? Move. Keep moving. Get away from me. And now he's kind of offering me this queen trade, and I'm in a bad spot right now. Queen to g3 is pretty good, so that's what I should be doing. I believe if I move queen to g3, queen to g3 is a slightly better position for me to be in, and that's what I do. I move over, knight to bd7. So this knight. How do I read this? nbd7. N, knight, b, d7? This? Oh, d7. Oh my gosh. I don't know why the b and the d, I must be dyslexic or something. I don't think I'm dyslexic, but I must be, because that took way too long for my brain to compute and put the neurons together to understand what it was suggesting. That is his next best move, but he decides to put some pressure on me. I decide, hey, I can just move up, stay safe. This is now hanging if he doesn't move it. He does move his pawn up, which makes sense. That's appropriate. And just defending, even though your structure is kind of getting messed up over here, not the end of the world. I now decide, hey, I'm going to start moving these pawns up for no reason. Doesn't really add any value to me or my position. He puts some pressure on my queen. Obviously, a triple defended pawn, not a great thing for a queen to see. But I noticed that if I fall back to e2 and I'm able to hit this guy, well, now I'm going to be putting the king into check, and he's going to have to make some decisions. So he spots this, obviously, and my next move here is to just creep the pawn up yet again, putting more pressure on the queen. He jumps over, so this is putting pressure on my queen, and it's actually not a good position for him to be in. I believe this was a blunder. When you look at the evaluation bar, I'm basically in a losing position, almost guaranteed. He moves his knight over, and now I'm in a way better spot. So I take with the dark bishop. That's just a free knight for me to destroy, to eviscerate, to remove from the game. And I'm also threatening the queen yet again. He decides to take. It is a hanging bishop. That's totally fine. But now I'm able to execute the check that I wanted to a little bit earlier. He moves his king up. I put him into check yet again. This wasn't a great move for me. I shouldn't have done that. So what I should have done here is rook to ad1. So rook to here is the best move for me. It doesn't actually make a huge impact on the game. And it's actually not a great move, queen to e7 check. So not a great move, but I do it. He defends with his rook, and I now put my queen on the back rank. My thought process here is, if he does decide to move the knight, at least I get a free rook. So that's going to be at least an okay thing if he blunders really badly, thinking that the knight can come out to get involved. And it also, the other thing that I noticed or I realized while I was playing this, so in this position here, these two pieces now basically become inoperable, right? He is 1, 2, 3 moves away from even engaging this rook. He cannot move the knight because I just get a rook for free. So the game is, in this position, from my perspective, 2 rooks and a queen against a queen, right? This rook can't move. If he moves here, I take him. If he moves here, I can just put him back into check. This rook is pretty out of commission right now. Both of my rooks are free to move. They're not pinned or held accountable to anything on the board right now. And both of these pieces are skewered / pinned. So it felt good, at least. Like, I knew that being in this position, I'm not going to be able to get onto the back rank and do any crazy checkmates. But I'm taking 2 other pieces completely out of commission by holding them here, forcing a bunch of slow pawn moves if he wants to move those. I don't know if that makes any sense. After he pushes this pawn up here, not a great position for him. My rook from F should move over to E1 after this. I don't do that. I moved the wrong rook, basically. Why one rook is better than the other, I'm not 100% sure. Like, the difference between moving here And now I'm supposed to do, he's going queen to c4 here to threaten this, possibly. Rook ad1 here threatens, and then queen f6. Queen f6 is best. Interesting. Rook d6 here, because it's protected. Knight d7 here. Wait, what? Queen takes this? Wow. Okay, so actually, I mean, I don't necessarily think that queen moves to d4 in this position if my opponent was to actually do that. But in theory, I'm getting a rook with a protected rook, protected queen. There's a lot happening here that's actually really good. And then from this position, queen to c3, here threatening this, and then d1, rook d to d1, redefending this, knight to f6, f6, right? f6. Queen takes a7. Interesting. So you're just kind of like slowly decimating all of his pieces from that position. I don't necessarily agree with the computer evaluating that that's what would have happened. The big thing with the computer evaluations that I've learned is that you need to understand that people are humans. People are going to make mistakes. They're not going to see things. And so the evaluation is great to see, but when you're on move 24, the likelihood that I moved, if I just go back one more, I move here and then he moves here and then I move here and then he moves here, like not 100% of the time is it going to work out that way. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that wasn't too much of a sidetrack to disincentivize you, but regardless, he moves back. We're actually playing the game or looking at how the game was actually played at this point. Queen moves back to c7. This is stopping me from either moving my rook. The initial idea was rook here, he takes, I take, putting him into check. We've got some extra happy moves to make after that. I decide to move up here. This is again kind of a blunder, not a great position. If he takes, I get to take queen. So that's kind of my thought process here. I was like, okay, that kind of works. Seems okay. But now he's able to put pressure on my rook. And this, I spent a really long time looking at this position. I wasn't sure if I should try to do some sort of a check or some sort of a take, some sort of a maybe an attempted queen trade. Like I wasn't 100% sure what to do. At the end of the day, it is just a queen takes a, right? It's a free rook. He's going to get a rook with his knight, but after this, I can put pressure back on the knight again, right? If queen moves now, this becomes a hanging knight, or he double reinforces it with his rook, which ended up happening. I move my king over, knowing that if he's going to come out here, exposing this, I can move over. If he takes, not great position, but at least I take. You know, this isn't a great spot for me. You can tell by the evaluation bar, I'm pretty much in a losing position. He moves this pawn up, stopping me from being able to take a7. I decide to take and threaten him so that when he takes with his pawn, now I have some openings, right? This isn't the greatest spot to be in. I'm not excited for it. Again, I said at the beginning of the video, pucker factor 9,000 a few times in this game. In this position, queen to a6 is best. I'm supposed to move down here, right? Threaten him. That's not what I do. I play a significantly worse move, giving him yet another free pawn. Now, my thought process was this. At the very least now, I can move down and I have an opening. I have at least kind of an opening. If I move this pawn up, then I can get down to the bottom rank, right? He takes, I move up. He is now pretty much, now I'm actually like completely locked in here, right? After he took and I moved up, even after explaining to you what my initial thought process was, I was so dumb and stupid, I moved up. Not very good. He could take here, threatening me, and then I'd be like, I guess I can't take, I have to move now. I have to move somewhere stupid that I don't want to be. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking in this position. He puts me in a check, so I move my rook up. After he takes, I can't take because that's going to be a freebie. So I move my pawn up. This is like one of the only pawns that I can move in this position. It says that I should move over queen to d8, putting a threat on the rook, also covering the d file. I don't do that. I move my pawn up. Doesn't help improve my position at all, not even a little bit. He moves his pawn down, not really making a big impact. I move my pawn up. My thought here is like, okay, he's got really no pawns or protection around his king anymore. So if I'm able to infiltrate, if I'm able to kind of deconstruct any of the pieces on this side of the board, I'm going to be in a slightly better position. He doesn't take the bait. He's just marching these two pawns closer to promoting, which is a little bit scary. But when he does move this pawn over here, I notice that, okay, now I can pin this pawn to this queen. That feels pretty good. I like that. At least in the moment, it felt like the right move. Instead of having two passed pawns on this side, not a passed pawn, but two pawns that are threatening and trying to push to promotion, now there's only one. So I feel a little bit better. And by some miracle, I'm gifted with him deciding to hang the queen. Not hang the queen. I use the word hang inappropriately. I'm very sorry. This entire video is a smorgasbord of me saying the wrong things. I do apologize. He doesn't hang the queen, but he opens the queen up for me to take. I take it. He takes with his knight, and now I take and put him into check. So now we are in a position where it is even on pawns, and I have a rook. Rook stronger than knight. I can attack an entire rank and an entire file at the same time. The knight can only attack, 8 squares at once. So I'm feeling better about this after this mistake, this little mishap. He moves down, threatening me, so I have to move over. This is a blunder. This is horrible. This was the worst thing I could have done in my entire life, I guess, which does make sense because I probably should have moved back. And now I'm on the same rank as this pawn if he moves down. Yikes. Not great. I actually think C takes B3. Oh, I'm supposed to do this. Wow. I'm not even supposed to care about the king taking my rook in this position. I suppose because if I take and then he takes, I get to take the knight. And now I have a completely passed pawn. But in this position, if I take and he takes, then I take. I'm wondering if I would need to, yeah, because like he just does this and then this. Oh, but then he can't take here. So he could take, I could take, he take. Oh, this is like not a great spot because after he moves, I need to move. Oh, but I'm in a completely winning position here. Interesting. He has to move back. And then I can do this. And then he has to move. I do this. He has to move. I do this. I see why he might. I see why that's a winning position now. Okay, that's cool. Interesting. See, I love this classroom. I love being able to like move stuff around, see what would have happened, and kind of be like, oh, this is actually a winning position because of that. So anyways, after the, where was I? Here. After this, he marches down. So he doesn't even opt to take my pawn, which would have been probably the better situation, the better position for him. Now I'm able to do this. So he's currently protected by the knight, but if he promotes, I get to take. We're in a better world. And after he moves down here, this gives me an opportunity to pass this pawn. I didn't even bother taking. I was like, I'm passing. I should have taken. Dumb idea not to take, but I was just kind of balls to the wall. Let's get this pawn promoted at the back rank. He moves over. I move up. He moves over. I move up. He eats my pawn. I promote to a queen. He promotes to a queen. I sacrifice the rook. He takes it. And now we are in an even better position than we were before. So his king is on the complete opposite end of the world. It is a queen against a knight and two pawns. I put him into check. He moves over. I push this pawn up. He comes over here, threatening me with a check. I'm able to get out of that, obviously. He takes, I take, he moves over. I come over here, threatening the knight and the pawn in kind of a weird way. Like I'm putting him into check, but I can't actually take this because then the pawn takes. So he marches over, put him back into check, marches over. Now I'm behind the pawn. What I actually should have done after this position is I should have just moved down here, because now I can take, then I can take, right? If he moves over this way, he's protecting, but then I take. So there's a lot of benefit to just coming over this direction, because now it's like, oh, this is like clearly a winning position. It's not exactly what happened. I put him into check, he moves over. Now I'm threatening this, take the knight because he left it hanging, and now I am able to just march my way to the end of the board with this other pawn. We get 2 queens, and we actually get a center of the board checkmate with 2 queens. He obviously cannot move along these diagonals. He can't move along here, can't move here because of the king, and we seal the deal with the checkmate. This was a fun game. It was pretty stressful, I'm not gonna lie. It was nice to use this classroom tool just to see what some of the moves that I should have made were and how those would actually play out with the evaluation bar and the lines. I do apologize if it was a little bit clunky. This is my first time actually using it, I think, somewhat properly. The more that I use it, the better I will get at analyzing these games. So if you enjoyed yourself and you'd like to see more of this, let me know in the comments down below. This is the tool that I'm going to be using for my Vienna deep dive video. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe. I also upload a new chess video here every single day. So if you liked this one, if you like chess content in general, subscribe, because I've got new content rolling out literally all the time. Hope you enjoyed this one. I love and appreciate you. You look great today. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.